In the alleyways of old Shiraz, where orange blossoms perfume the night and shadows remember every secret, a man once walked who needed no introduction. They called him Dash Akoul, not out of respect, not out of fear, but because his name alone was enough to silence a street, scatter a brawl, or make a coward check over his shoulder twice. He wasn't a hero. He wasn't a saint. He was something rarer. A man who kept his word in a city that had forgotten what honor meant. But even lions grow quiet when love strikes like a dagger in the dark. This is the story of a guardian who gave everything, his freedom, his pride, even his life, for a promise he never asked to keep, and a girl whose eyes haunted him more than all the scars on his face. Welcome to Shiraz, where loyalty bleeds, parrots speak truths, and some loves are written not in ink, but in silence, sacrifice, and the last breath of a broken man.
Hi, I'm Dina, and welcome to the channel 3 Dina Animation Stories. If you enjoyed today's story, make sure to support us.
Everyone in Shiraz knew that Dash Akoul and Kakarostam were like shadows, always circling each other, always ready to strike. One afternoon, Dash Akoul sat on the wooden bench outside Damel Cafe, right where his old spot used to be. A rusty birdcage with a red cloth draped over it leaned against his leg. He idly spun a piece of ice around the rim of a blue glass bowl with his fingertips, lost in thought. Suddenly, Kakarostam walked in. He shot Dash a look dripping with contempt, adjusted his shawl, and marched straight to the bench across from him. Without even glancing at the cafe boy, he barked, "Hey kid, bring me some tea, now." But the boy just gave Dash Akoul a meaningful glance. Dash didn't say a word, just raised an eyebrow, and the kid instantly froze. He ignored Kakarostam completely. Instead, he pulled clean glasses from the brass tray, dunked them one by one into a bucket of water, then slowly dried each with a towel. The soft shhhk of cloth on glass filled the silence. Kakarostam fumed. His face turned red. "Are you deaf?" he snapped. "Or is it just me?" The cafe boy offered a nervous, half-smile toward Dash Akoul. Kakarostam gritted his teeth and muttered through them, "Every coward who hides behind coffee cups. If the Lodis came tonight, they'd string you up by your heels." Dash Akoul kept swirling the ice, watching everything from the corner of his eye. Then he let out a bold, mocking laugh, just enough to flash a row of strong white teeth beneath his thick mustache, and said coolly, "Real men don't need to shout. Tonight, everyone will see who Rostam the braggart really is, and who's just a Handy the clown." The whole place burst into laughter, not because Kakarostam's words were funny. He was known for stumbling over his tongue, but because Dash Akoul was Shiraz's living legend. No street tough dared cross him. Every night, after finishing his bottle of cheap arak at the Jewish quarter's back alley, Dash would stand guard near the cold tailor's lane. Even Kakarostam's own grandfather would have limped away if he'd shown up. Kakarostam knew better than to challenge Dash. He'd been beaten by him twice, pinned under his knee 3 or 4 times more. Just a few nights earlier, Kakarostam had strutted through an empty square, puffing himself up like a rooster, until Dash appeared like fate itself, raining down curses and fists. "Kaka," Dash had growled, "your manhood's missing. Maybe you drank 1 too many Vaffer sodas. You think this clown act makes you tough, begging for attention every night like a stray dog. That's not honor, that's begging. And I swear, if you ever pull that drunk nonsense near me again, I'll burn your beard off. I'll make sure your own shadow won't recognize you." Kakarostam had slunk away that night, but the insult festered deep in his chest. He swore revenge, yet the whole city loved Dash Akoul. Why? Because while he ruled the streets with an iron fist, He never touched women or children. In fact, he treated ordinary folks with kindness. If a woman dropped her groceries, he'd help. If someone was being bullied, he'd step in. People often saw him carrying heavy loads for neighbors or forgiving debts. But he had one blind spot. Kakarostam, the loudmouth who smoked 3 packs of cheap tobacco a day and spun wild lies to sound important. That day in the cafe, Kakarostam sat stewing in humiliation. When the laughter died down, everyone quieted, except the cafe boy, who was doubled over, wheezing in silent giggles, his patched shirt, crooked cap, and baggy pants shaking with mirth. The others laughed even harder at him. That was the last straw. Kakarostam jumped up, grabbed a sugar bowl and hurled it at the boy's head, but missed. It smashed into the samovar instead. The giant kettle toppled off the bench with a thunderous crash, shattering into pieces on the stone floor. Face burning, Kakarostam stormed out without a word. The cafe owner, flustered, inspected the wreckage and muttered, "It was Rostam. We were practically holding a gun to his head." He repeated the line with such dramatic flair that everyone laughed even harder, especially since the jab was clearly aimed at Kakarostam. Helpless, the owner sighed and turned to his apprentice, but Dash Akoul just smiled, reached into his pocket, pulled out a wad of cash, and tossed it on the table. The owner scooped it up, weighed it in his hand. It was more than enough, and grinned. Just then, a man in a wide-brimmed felt hat, velvet-trimmed coat, and loose trousers stepped into the cafe. He scanned the room, walked straight to Dash Akoul, and said, "Haji Samad has passed." Dash looked up. "May God rest him. But you know, I'm no mourner. Go tell the real mourners." "But Haji named you his executor," the man insisted. Dash's expression darkened. He studied the man's forehead, half sunburnt brown, half pale from under his hat, and gave a slow nod. He pulled out his pipe, tapped in some tobacco, lit it, and exhaled. "All right. God rest Haji, but he did us no favors, dragging us into this mess. You go ahead. I'll come after the funeral." The man, Haji Samad's steward, left with long, heavy steps. A shadow fell over the cafe. The air, once light with laughter, turned heavy and gray. After finishing his pipe, Dash stood, handed the birdcage to the cafe boy, and walked out. At Haji Samad's house, mourners milled about. Only a few Quran reciters and beggars lingered near the courtyard fountain. Moments later, Dash was led into a large room where the bridal chamber's outer curtain was drawn back. A woman stepped behind the curtain. After the usual greetings, Dash sat on the mattress and said gently, "May peace be upon you, madam. May God return your children to you." Her voice trembled. The night Haji fell ill, they brought him home. Before everyone, he named you his trusted representative. Did you know him well? "We met 5 years ago in Kaisroon," Dash replied. "He always said, if there's one true man in this world, it's that fellow." She paused. "I value my freedom above all, but now that I'm bound by duty, I swear by this son. I'll make every one of them pay if I survive this." As she turned, another figure appeared behind the curtain, a girl with snow-pale skin, deep black eyes, and long lashes. Their eyes met for just a heartbeat. Then she quickly dropped the curtain and vanished. Was she beautiful? Maybe. But those eyes, haunting, magnetic, shook Dash to his core. He looked down, cheeks burning. That girl was Marjan, Haji Samad's daughter, who'd come out of curiosity to see the city's infamous Dash Akoul, their family's newly appointed guardian. From that day on, Dash threw himself into Haji's affairs. With a sharp broker, 2 local agents, and a meticulous clerk, he sorted everything in 2 days. stored excess goods, sold what could be sold, collected debts, paid bills, and reorganized the estate. By the second night, exhausted and worn thin, Dash walked home near Chaharsui Saeed Hajj. On the way, Imam Kohli the blacksmith stopped him. "Kakarostam's been trailing you for 2 nights," he said. "Last night, he claimed you betrayed your friends and got cozy with the sheikhs. I think he forgot his own promises." Dash stroked his mustache. Forget him. He remembered Kakarostam's outburst at Damel Cafe. But he also knew Kakarostam and Imam Kohli were in cahoots, trying to bait him, so he paid no mind. But his thoughts kept drifting back to Marjan. No matter how hard he tried to push her image away, it only grew sharper in his mind. Dash was 35, broad-shouldered but rough-looking. First impressions weren't kind. Scars crisscrossed his face from old knife fights, one pulling his left eye downward. His father had been a wealthy landowner. When he died, he left everything to Dash. But Dash cared nothing for wealth. He lived for honor, generosity, and freedom. He gave most of his fortune to the poor, drank fiery arak under open skies, and hosted wild gatherings with loyal friends. Yet one thing had never touched his life: love, until Marjan. Now everything changed. He felt bound by duty and consumed by longing. Every morning, he worked tirelessly to grow Haji's estate, moved the family to a smaller house, rented out their mansion, hired tutors for the kids, and managed every property. He stopped roaming the streets at night. No more wild parties. The fire in him had dimmed, and the town noticed. Whispers spread in cafes. Dash Akoul's gone soft. They say he's sniffing around Haji's house like a lost dog. Look at him now, barely lifts his head in the cold tailor's lane. Kakarostam, nursing his grudge, slurred to anyone who'd listen. Old age hit him hard. Now he's mooning over Haji's daughter like a lovesick fool. People mocked him behind his back, but Dash heard it all and let it slide, because Marjan had rooted herself deep in his soul. At night, drenched in sweat from restless dreams, he bought a parrot. He'd sit by its cage, whispering secrets to the bird like an old friend. He could have asked for Marjan's hand. Her mother would have agreed, but he refused. He didn't want chains. He wanted freedom, just as he'd always lived. Besides, he feared it would be a betrayal. How could he marry the girl entrusted to his care? Worse, he'd stare into the mirror each night, tracing the scars on his face, the jagged lines, the drooping eye, and mutter in a hoarse voice, "Maybe she'll never love me. Maybe she'll find a young, handsome groom. What am I? 40 years old, with a face like a battlefield. But what can I do? This love is killing me. Marjan, your love has slain me." Tears would well in his eyes. He'd gulp down glass after glass of water, then fall into a fitful sleep. But in the dead of night, when Shiraz slept beneath starlit skies, its winding alleys fragrant with orange blossoms, Dash's true self would emerge. In dreams, he'd hold Marjan close, kiss her flushed cheeks, feel her heartbeat against his chest. Then he'd wake, curse himself, rage at life, and pace his room like a madman, muttering to walls, chasing thoughts he couldn't escape. 7 years passed like this. Dash cared for Haji's widow and children like a devoted father, staying by their side through every illness, every hardship. He grew fond of them all. But his love for Marjan, that was different. It was that love that had tamed the wild lion inside him. The children grew up. Time moved on. Then came the inevitable. Marjan was betrothed to a man older and uglier than Dash himself. But Dash didn't break. Instead, with chilling calm, he organized a grand wedding feast. He moved the family back into their old home, prepared the bridal chamber, and invited all of Shiraz's merchants, elders, and dignitaries. At 5 o'clock, as guests filled the hall, Sitting on fine carpets, sweets and fruit before them, Dash entered. Same old swagger. Hair neatly combed, long coat, black debye pants, abede boots, and his signature felt hat. 3 clerks followed with ledgers in hand. All eyes locked onto him. He strode to the imam, stood tall, and said, "Haji Samad entrusted us with his legacy 7 years ago. We raised his youngest, from 5 to 12. Here's the full accounting." He gestured to his assistants. "Every expense, every income, even tonight's feast, paid from my own pocket. From this moment on, they're on their own." He clutched his throat, lowered his head, eyes glistening, not from sorrow, but from love unspoken, and walked out. In the alley, he breathed deep. The weight was gone, but his heart is shattered. He wandered until he reached the Jewish quarter, climbed the worn brick steps of Malau Hack's house, and slipped into the damp courtyard. Its rooms like beehives, green moss on the fountain, the air thick with mildew and cellar damp. Malau Hack appeared, thin, bearded, eyes sharp, and forced a smile. Dash, voice rough, said, "Brother, give me your best bottle. My throat's dry." Malau nodded, disappeared downstairs, and returned with a dusty bottle. Dash smashed the neck against the wall, drank half in one gulp, wiped his mouth with the back of his hand, and stared into the distance, eyes full of longing. Malau's son, a wide-eyed boy with crumbs on his lips, gawked at him. Dash dipped a finger in a salt dish, tasted it, and smiled faintly. Malau clapped him on the shoulder. "Tastes like dirt, doesn't it? And that rag you're wearing looks like it's seen better days. But hey, if you ever need a meal, my door's open." Dash handed him some coins, stepped back into the twilight. The streets were still damp from rain. The scent of wet clay and orange blossoms hung in the air. Marjan's face appeared in his mind. Rosy cheeks, black eyes, long lashes brushing her forehead. Memories flooded back. Picnics at Saadi's tomb, laughter with old friends, moments of joy now hollow. Life felt meaningless. He murmured almost to himself. "To the prisoner's night gathering I go, where the only talk is the clinking of chains." Then, louder, "My heart's gone mad, O wise ones, bring me chains, for without them I am nothing." His voice cracked. He fell silent. Night fell. He found himself at Sarduzak Square, the very spot where, years ago, no one dared approach him. Now, broken and alone, he sat on the stone bench, lit his pipe, and smoked slowly. Everything felt worse. The place, the people, himself. Then a dark shadow approached. "Lulu, little night bird," a voice sneered. "Haven't seen you around in ages." Dash recognized Kakarostam instantly. He stood, hand on his belt, and spat. "You think you're brave. You're just a coward. Tonight you'll learn what real ground feels like." Kakarostam laughed, a twisted, bitter sound. "Heard you've been hiding in Haji's house. What's wrong? Did your little bird fly away?" Dash smiled. "Go ahead. Hit me. Just don't cry like last time." They lunged at each other. For 30 minutes, they rolled in the dirt. Sweat, blood, fury. Neither gained the upper hand. Then Dash's head slammed hard against the stone. He nearly blacked out. Kakarostam, exhausted but desperate, spotted Dash's dagger on the ground. With the last of his strength, he grabbed it and plunged it deep into Dash's side. Both men collapsed, hands useless, breath ragged. Bystanders rushed forward. They lifted Dash, blood dripping from his ribs. He stumbled, fell again, then was carried home. By morning, news spread. Velikin, Haji's eldest son, rushed to Dash's bedside. He found him pale, blood at the corners of his mouth, eyes dim, breathing shallow. Dash recognized him. In a weak, trembling voice, he whispered, "In this world, I only had one friend, my parrot. Promise me you'll take care of him." Then he fell silent. An hour later, Dash Akoul was gone. All of Shiraz wept. Velikin took the parrot's cage and brought it home. That evening, Marjan sat alone. staring at the bird's colorful feathers, lost in thought. Suddenly, the parrot spoke in Dash's rough, raspy voice. "Margin, Margin, you killed me. Who do I tell? Margin, your love killed me." Tears streamed down her face. The parrot tilted its head, blinked its round, empty eyes, and chirped softly. "Javi, Javi, Margin, Javi, Javi," again and again, until the night swallowed the sound.